After 11 years, you think I would figure out that it's not worth having anything follow that. And yet every year we do. We have something follow it, and I am the one who got the ticket this year. So, when we're here for the feast, we get to celebrate what's best about our community. The fellowship, the long friendships, the new friendships, the energy in our parish, the creativity, and the willingness to step out and do all kinds of things that I must say other churches aren't doing. And we celebrate how wonderful our life is together. And it is an amazing thing to bring everybody together, so many members from our church, and put us all together in this room. It makes for a very special night. And I want to thank you for giving the time to come and be here tonight. And I want to thank again all the volunteers, all the people who have worked so hard, from Eric and the cooking team, to those who set the tables, to manning the bar, to stuffing envelopes, to all that goes into making this event happen. I want to thank them one more time. I'm only going to speak for a few minutes to you all because we've done quite a bit, and we know what it's about. But I want to share with you a couple of things. While we celebrate the life of our parish tonight is also about a time when we get a chance to recommit to that life. Because it takes every single one of us in this room to make St. James's what it is. It takes so many people, as evidence here tonight, so many people giving up their time and their talents and their money to make all of the things that happen at and through St. James's possible. And so tonight is not only to celebrate our lives, not only to revel in our parish, but to commit to the future of our parish. It's really about the future, so that we can continue to do what we've been doing. Two things I want to tell you. Giving. Giving is good for those other people that you give to in ways you will never realize, and it's good for you. First, it's good for other people. There's an old story about a wealthy guy who went to church one Sunday, and he was asked by one of the ladies to share his faith journey. And he stood up and he said, I'm a millionaire. But when I made my first dollar, the Sunday I made my first dollar, I came to church. And the preacher that day was talking about the needs of mission overseas and starving people and the work of the church to help those in need. And he wanted us to give. And he said, I only had that $1, the first dollar I ever made. He said, I knew I had a choice. I could either give all that I had, or I could give nothing. I had no change. So when the plate came by, I gave everything that I had. I put that dollar bill in the plate, and I believe because I did that, God has blessed me, and now I'm a very wealthy man. Well, there was an awed silence in the congregation, and the man sat down, and the service continued, and during the offering time, as the plates were starting to come down the aisle, a sweet little lady sitting next to him said, Sir, that was such a wonderful talk. I so appreciate that. He said, I'm so impressed that you gave everything that you had on that Sunday. The plate's coming down. I dare you to try that again. Giving is hard. It can be hard. There's so many demands in life. So many things that need our time and our attention and our resources. But I want you to know the things that take place because of what you give to St. James's. I have the best seat in the house. For 11 years, I have sat in that office watching what's like a hive of bees. Now, some of you may usher, or some of you may serve in the altar guild, or some of you may lay read, or work with Caritas, or do various things in the church, but I have the perspective that I get to see all of it. I get to see the hundreds of people who are out and about doing things in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ and changing lives by what they do. by what they give, by what they make possible. It's absolutely amazing to see. Think about the hundreds of people over the last several years, just the last several years, who have received pastoral care and time and love and attention for things like divorce and depression and struggles with sickness, all of the issues of life that come to all of us. And we are there to care for them because you all make that possible. I think about the dozens of people over the years who have been mentoring children in inner city schools in Richmond. Some of these folks started mentoring when their kids were in kindergarten. And they've worked with their children every week, and now they're in middle school, making the life of a child who often has no other constancy in his life other than the presence of this mentor from St. James's. Or better yet, we all know the scores of children, I'd love to know how many it is actually, in 25 years who have come through the Children's Center. Children who are at risk, children with special needs, children who have been abandoned sometimes, children who have often no other place to find love and care, and Geraldine and that wonderful staff take them in and love and nurture them. Your gifts, your efforts, your volunteering, you all make it possible for us to provide the space for Geraldine and her staff to do the magic that they do and that they've done for so many years. I think about our mission trips. Now, I know Mardi Gras raises a lot of money for mission, but there's a lot of time. There's a lot of dedication that goes into those trips. People give their vacation times. People take leave from work, and some lose pay to go to Haiti or Honduras or Sudan or Appalachia or New Orleans to love and care for people we don't even know, to do medicine, to build, to clean, to teach, to do all the things that we do. Your gifts make that possible. We have the largest mission program in the Diocese of Virginia because of this great hive of bees that's going on at St. James's. I could go on and on. But what you do in your little corner of the parish, whether it's one thing or whether it's 10, makes an immense difference. Because when you put it all together, we are doing Christ's work in the world. And tonight we celebrate that. And we commit to our future. Now, giving is really good for you. Eugene Peterson is one of my favorite authors and scholar. He tells this great story about a family of swallows. There were 3 fledglings in this family of swallows. And when it came time to leave the nest, the 3 fledglings were perched on a branch, and one of the adults came along and began to shove the swallows down the branch. One swallow fell off the end, and somewhere between the branch and the ground, she put out her wings and discovered if she flapped that she could fly. Same thing happened with the second swallow. But that third one was not going to be budged. The parent pushed and pushed and pushed, and could only move the swallow to the end of the branch, but the swallow would not step off. Finally, the swallow lost his grip, and instead of falling off, he swung to the bottom of the branch like a bat hanging from the rafters. And the mother swallow was pecking on the fledgling's feet, pecking on the feet, trying to get this bird to let go. Finally, the bird let go when the pain of holding on was more than the fear of letting go. And it was in that letting go that this swallow learned that when he put out his wings, he too could fly. You see, what that parent knew that the fledgling didn't is that there was no danger in making that fledgling do what it was designed to do. Now, swallows can walk, swallows can cling to branches, but swallows were made to fly. And when they're living into their fullest selves, they are birds of flight. In the same way, you and I were created in the image of God. And the God that we love and worship is a God who gives. a God who creates heaven and earth and all that is between. And because we are created in the image of God, that means our truest identity is one who gives. It's so sad to me when I see folks in their lives who cling so tightly to that branch of the stuff that they have, whether it's their time or whether it's their money or whatever it is, because they are terrified to let it go. What they don't realize is that it's in letting it go. It's in letting yourself become a giver that you actually become more of the person God created you to be. So what I want you to do is I want you to pray about how and where you spend your time and your resources. I want you to think about what's important to you, what you have a passion for, what you want to see different about our world. And then I want you to let go of that branch and give. Give to those things that you care about. I hope most of you have received your pledge cards in the mail, and Pledge Sunday is this Sunday. At 9 o'clock, it's the Bluegrass Mass. So come to that and bring your pledge cards or bring it to the 11:15 service. Ask yourself if you've been blessed. Ask yourself if God has blessed you. If the answer to that question is yes, then give back in thanksgiving for those blessings. You got to remember at St. James's, we don't make budgets and then set out to meet those budgets. We have never done that in my 11 years. We simply take what you all decide you want to give to the life of our church, and then we make our budgets. Because it's not about you all meeting our needs. It's about you giving in gratitude for your life, to us and to the other organizations that are important to you. And from what you give to God in gratitude, we will then put to work in the name of the kingdom. So I thank you all for being here tonight and for celebrating our wonderful parish and for your love and your laughter and your applause. And I definitely am keeping my day job. Although I did bring my guns up with me for this talk. So it's 8:30 on the nose. Go in peace to love and serve the Lord.
Thanks be to God.